Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we are jumping into the amazing world of boys love media to talk about a really cool shift that's been happening in the storytelling. We're getting into that classic battle of destiny versus choice, but we're looking at how it's totally reshaping the romances we're all watching and loving.
You know, it's a question that drives so many love stories, isn't it? This idea that there's one single person out there just for you, that you are cosmically meant to find. I mean, it's a super powerful fantasy, right? The ultimate romantic dream.
And for the longest time, this soulmate idea has been a massive part of romance. And that absolutely includes BL. But here's what's so interesting. A lot of creators are now starting to push back on that, suggesting that maybe, just maybe, the best love stories aren't about finding a soulmate. Maybe they're about building a relationship through conscious, deliberate choice. So let's get into it, starting with why we love the whole soulmate thing so much in the first place.
So first up, let's break down why this idea of destined love is so incredibly popular. I mean, what is it about soulmates that we just can't get enough of?
Okay, so the soulmate trope, at its core, is pretty simple. It's the idea that two people are fated to be together. Their connection is basically written in the stars. It's this undeniable force that makes their story feel so epic, so grand, and pretty much inevitable no matter what gets in their way.
And you know, this trope is especially powerful within BL. For queer audiences, a story where a relationship is framed as meant to be can be so reassuring. It's like this powerful comeback to any societal pushback, basically saying, hey, this love isn't just valid, it's destiny. And that creates this really appealing emotional fantasy.
A perfect example of this? You gotta look at the Thai series Tharn Type. I mean, these two start out with some serious conflict, but the story frames their meeting, getting assigned as roommates by what seems like pure chance, as an act of fate. Their bond is something they kind of have to accept, not something they build from the ground up.
And we see it again in the Korean drama Semantic Error. The main characters are complete opposites who would literally never choose to hang out, but the universe just keeps throwing them together, pulling them towards each other like magnets. In this case, destiny is what fuels that classic opposites attract dynamic, and let's be real, some seriously amazing chemistry.
But as great as destiny is, what happens when it's the only thing holding a couple together? This is where some of the more modern stories are starting to dig a little deeper.
See, here's the catch with relying too much on destiny. If a relationship is just inevitable, then the actual choices the characters make can start to feel, well, less important. You risk skipping over all the messy, complicated human stuff that makes love feel real. You know, the hard work, the talking things out, the compromises.
Now, a series that sits right in this interesting middle ground is the Japanese anime Given. On the one hand, the two leads, Mafuyu and Ritsuka, totally feel like musical soulmates. There's this undeniable, fated connection that they have through their passion for music. But that's not the whole story. And this quote really hits the nail on the head. What makes their relationship so powerful isn't just fate. It's the slow, sometimes painful process of dealing with grief, building up trust, and actively learning to choose each other day in and day out. Destiny might have brought them together, but their choices are what make it work.
Which, of course, brings us to this next evolution in BL storytelling. What happens when a story just throws destiny out the window and puts all its focus on love as a deliberate, active choice?
So now we're going to look at a totally different kind of romance, one that's not written in the stars, but is built piece by piece by the characters themselves.
So if a soulmate is something you find, then chosen love is something you build. This is all about two people who actively decide, yes, I want to be with you. Their bond is created through things like shared values, putting in the effort, talking things through, and having the courage to actually be vulnerable with one another.
And you can see this so clearly in some awesome recent series. In Thailand's Not Me, the love story isn't about fate at all. It's about two people fighting for the same cause, sharing the same ideals, and choosing to take huge risks together. And then you have Japan's Cherry Magic. A magical power might kick things off, but their relationship only succeeds because they choose to communicate and work through all their insecurities.
Ooh, and the Japanese series When It Rains, It Pours plays with this idea so cleverly. A simple misunderstanding makes it seem like the two leads are fated to be together, but the story shows us that a fated meeting doesn't mean anything without the conscious choice to be honest and open up. That's what actually lets their love grow.
Okay, so we've got love by destiny and we've got love by choice. So why is this shift from one to the other such a big deal for storytelling right now?
It really all boils down to this simple but
pretty profound difference. Soulmate love is something that you find. Chosen love is something that you build. It's like the difference between discovering a finished masterpiece and actually creating one together from scratch. And what this all means is that by focusing on choice, on effort, on people deciding their own paths, these stories are offering something that's just incredibly powerful. They show us queer love not just as some grand romantic fantasy, but as something that's deeply real, totally relatable, and just human, something people build together every single day.
So, that leaves us with a final question for all of you. When you're watching a romance, what hits you harder? Is it the thrill of knowing two people are destined to be together? Or is it the quiet strength of watching two people choose each other over and over again?
We really want to know what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed this little breakdown, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one. Thanks for hanging out with us.